So let's talk about the Bolivian ram cichlid. This is a very underrated fish as far as I'm concerned, as far as ram cichlids go. Their scientific name is Mikrogeophagus altispinosus. And I truly believe that these guys are literally the butterflies of your aquarium. And what I mean by that is they're just absolutely fun to watch. They're hardier than the German blues. They're hardier than the yellow or blue ram cichlids. They just seem to get along better and do better in your tank. I don't know if it's because of where they're from and the cooler waters that they enjoy, but there's just something about these fish that are just extremely beautiful when they grow in size. Now let's talk a little bit about tank requirements and some of the things that you're going to need to make sure of. And the first thing that I would tell you is you want to have a minimum of 20-gallon tank. And I recommend a 20-gallon cube if you can do it, simply because the 20-gallon cube is a nice boxed-in area for these fish to enjoy. Now, as you can see from the video that I am putting out here, these are my fish. This is not a video of someplace else, but these guys really enjoy these small areas, and hiding places are definitely something that I recommend for the tank. But let's talk about some of the requirements as far as their tank needs go. And the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're keeping like temperament species in the tank, or fish that also share the same environmental requirements. The tank should always be between 25 and 28 degrees Celsius. That would be 77 to 82 degrees on the top end of temperature, simply because you don't want to overheat these guys. But I personally keep mine at right around 79 degrees. I think that that's perfect, and they do really well. They grow to around 8 to 10 centimeters. That would be 3 to 4 inches in length. But you should use at least, like I said, a 20-gallon tank to get them started and get them to pair off. Now, when I say pair off, you want to buy these guys in groups of 6 to 8 fish, simply because if you're going to get some pairs out of these guys, you're going to really need to have a group that size to get some pairs out of that. Typically, you'll get 1 or 2 pairs out of a group of 6 to 8. It's very difficult when they're young to really know the sex of these fish until they have gotten to a decent size where you can see some obvious markings on them that will tell you that. Now, water conditions, you want to absolutely have 0 ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates at a very low level. And that's extremely important to keep these guys happy. As far as water changes go, I recommend about once every 2 weeks doing about a 25% water change. And do not overfeed these guys. They're very fast at moving around the tank and getting their food. So it may appear that you're not feeding them enough, but the one thing that's dangerous, especially in a planted aquarium like the one you're seeing here, is that these guys can get overfed. Now, as you can see from this fish in the picture, they're going to go along the bottom and they're going to pick at the food. So they're going to find everything that's in there, and whatever they don't get, of course, the Corydoras that you keep with them, and that's one of the fish that I'm going to talk about later on in this video as something that I recommend keeping with them. But let's get back to talking about the tank itself. As far as decorations go, I recommend a sandy bottom like we have here. Now, this is something that you're not going to find very easily, and this is Utah red sand, but I love it because it's very soft, granular, and very pretty as far as making the colors of these Bolivian rams really stand out. And that's one of the things that I have found really really sets these guys off as having this background of this red sand. Now I'm using some dragonstone in here. Any kind of stone is really going to work well for you, but you want to try to make some cave areas like you see here, right at the bottom where that ram is sitting right now. There's a cave in there. You want to have some spaces like that where these guys, if they pair off, they can go and lay their eggs and do the breeding thing. So that's one of the things that you want to do is keep it lush and green with plants if you possibly can. Now this is an islandscape that I've made here, and they love it. They really truly do love this environment because there's a lot of places for them to hide, and there's a lot of lush green atmosphere in the tank where they can go behind the leaves. They can find little places to get out of sight if they want to. But typically these guys are not going to be shy. Once they have been in the tank for a while, they're typically going to be coming out all the time and begging you for food. Now what I recommend is feeding these guys a couple of times a day, maybe some pellets that work for them specifically, and then maybe some flake food so that other community fish in the tank are going to get fed as well. The pellets are really going to be the mainstay for these guys. As far as diet goes, they're really going to eat just about any kind of dry food or flake. There's nothing that I would tell you in particular as far as foods that they absolutely have to have. But I would tell you that you really need to give them a variety of foods so that they'll keep their health and color. And I don't want to put any recommendations out there as far as a specific type of food, because I'm not endorsing anyone on this particular video. I'm just simply trying to give you an idea of the kinds of foods that these guys are going to require. Now, the conditions need to be favorable for spawning. At the time of spawning, the female and the male, of course, are going to do a courtship kind of thing for a few days. It consists of reciprocal lateral displays and mouthing the stones or wood where they're going to lay the eggs, very much like a discus would, or a lot of cichlids do, simply because they're cleaning an area to put their eggs, and they will be very aggressive about doing this, and this is a sign that your fish are going to spawn. Now, I don't want to get into a lot of the breeding stuff, but I will tell you that males are very protective of the territory, and sometimes they'll relieve their partner for a few seconds. The males and the females will take turns, but the males are particularly aggressive about making sure that their eggs are protected, and this is something that's very important for them to be able to have, like I said, enough area. So what I'm going to recommend to you is once you see your fish pairing off and they're spawning, you want to probably move the rest of the rams out of the tank and just let these guys take care of their own in the 20-gallon, and maybe move your pairs to different tanks if you can. Or if you don't have pairs coming out, then you want to probably add your other remaining fish into a community tank that's a little bit larger. Juveniles are very active, and they're very territorial as young fish. Simply put, you will see sometimes that these guys will spar with each other, and that will go on for a period of time until they, like I said, have found a partner, and then this gets a little bit tricky beyond that, but I think that you're really going to enjoy these. These dwarf cichlids have all the characteristics of a popular aquarium fish. They're extremely colorful, medium size, omnivorous, and furthermore, they can adapt to various environmental conditions and breed easily, and this is what I like about these fish. They're peaceful temperament. They are the perfect inhabitants for almost any community tank, so you can confidently recommend them to novice fish keepers as well as those that are more established. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you got enough of this profile to make it comfortable for you to go out and get some of these guys. Like I said, get a pair, or a group, I should say, of 6 to 8 of these guys to very much be able to get some pairs out of them, because too small of a group, you're just not going to have that happen. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. We will see you on the next one. Until then, we're out of here.